Hello everyone, VJ back again with another VJ Reacts to playing cards. Let's look at what's going on a little bit on Kickstarter. I think I talked about this Canasta Classico double deck from Newt's playing cards. Doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Thank goodness he did a very short project because it would have been the same result if he did 50 days instead of 20. There is a new deck here. It's Bicycle Fireworks from Collectible Playing Cards. It's 61% funded right now, 28 days to go. Here it is. It's a very colorful deck. It is just popping. As you can see, it's exploding with color. And I'm not saying that because I'm being paid to say it. It's true. It's exploding with color, literally. It's not bad. Early birds are gone. It's borderless back design. I would love to see a picture of this in a fan. They don't have one though, but I'm sure it looks great in a fan. It is mirror imaged, so that's always a bonus. The court cards have a lot of color to them, really cool. And there's the Ace of Spades, the Jokers. You know, it's not bad, pretty simple, kind of standard looking deck, but the colors are popping. It's already been approved by USPC for printing, and they're expecting these by July. That's a bit of a ways out there. I'm sure they'll get that way before July, but whatever. As usual, they do have a Canada-only pledge, $25 for 2 decks, shipping included. That's almost like getting 2 decks at $20 plus shipping. You'll save like $1 or $2, a couple bucks maybe, whatever. It's not a big deal. So that's that. Moving along, there is this one, Alchemy Playing Cards. It says it's by Legends Playing Cards. I made another video that you should have seen by now. If you didn't, definitely go check it out. This project is a blatant scam, and in fact, every comment on the video, every comment on that project page is alerting people that it is a scam, and yet there's 71 people that have backed the project, and that's up from the 60 people that had backed the project yesterday after it launched. It's just ridiculous. Anyone who backs this is an idiot and it deserves to get scammed because it's just so blatant, and because people have said repeatedly in the comments, this is a scam. Warning, 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 and people are still backing it. Do people not read the comments? Are you that, I don't know, dumb? I mean, you should always, always, always read the comments on a project, because it might be a scam, and if you don't, you'll get scammed. Anyways, I don't know, it doesn't take a whole lot of brains to realize this is something weird going on with this one. This is a deck that already exists, and you can buy it on USPC's website for a few bucks. Why would you pay $11 on Kickstarter for it? You know, it's ridiculous. Moving along, I'm not sure there's too much else to tell you about on Kickstarter. I am disappointed that some projects that you see are not funded yet. Meanwhile, the Disturbed Reality playing cards are funded, and that just disturbs me a little bit because these decks, like the Aztec deck, the Joker and Thief cards, Lumberjacks, they all have a lot more effort put into just one card in that deck than do both Disturbed Reality decks combined, in my opinion. A lot more effort, a lot more thought, they're a lot more beautiful, and yet they're not funded yet. But that other deck is. The Disturbed Reality decks are funded. Barely, but they are. And I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I don't even see that one on here anymore. The Innovation Playing Cards by Jody Eklund is ending in 50 hours, so definitely make sure you check that one out before it ends if you haven't done so already. And this one, the Mary Jane String Games, which is a very odd deck of cards with completely odd suits and values, has dropped in funding since it's not going to fund anyways, which is never a good thing. It's going the wrong way. Um, mm, mm. There's not much else I haven't told you about. See, this is another one that should be funded. It's not funded yet. Airplane cards, I think I mentioned. It's from Orhan Kalagaziri. And it's basically another kind of version of the Fontaines, as you can see. Some seem to like it more than the Fontaines because it has a little more effort than the Fontaines, and I will give it that. It definitely has more effort than the Fontaines. I'm seeing that the writing on Joker seems to be, the J seems to be a little bit off-centered the rest of the letters, but it's a minor thing, I guess. But there's definitely a bit more effort than the Fontaines. I'll give it that much. But is it going to reach the goal? Not looking good. Neither is Exploding Puppies, by the way, which I predicted weeks ago. And that is it on Kickstarter, really. There's some things to tell you about on Dan and Dave. First of all is this. Aristocrats on Dan and Dave. Limited edition. They call them the classic edition. There's a red deck and a blue deck, obviously. As you can see, these are just the classic casino backs, unbranded, or just aristocrat branded casino backs. Printed in Cincinnati. Kind of hard to come by. Apparently they come wrapped in foil, which is always cool. And they got these nice, cool, embossed, limited edition tuck cases, which resemble a little bit the gold smoke and mirrors tuck case, by the way, except that it's not side opening, but the top looks very similar. They are numbered out of 1,000 each color, but they're a little bit pricey, as you can see, $14.95 each. I'm a little bit disappointed that they're not selling any more of these classic sets. I think it's BS. I mean, a classic set is just a red deck and a blue deck. Clearly, they have red decks and blue decks, and people are buying them together. So, why said we have to pay a few bucks extra to get both of them together? I mean, it's ridiculous. Couple more things to mention on Dan and Dave. First of all, Alice in Wonderland playing cards are available here and on Art of Play. I had always believed that Justin Buck was the one who was more involved with, associated, and running Kickstarter, where the Alice in Wonderland playing cards came from. However, upon a Google search, I have discovered that it's actually Dan Buck and the Bucks that own Kickstarter. So it's not a big surprise that they're selling them. In fact, not a big surprise at all, since both the Bucks and also their brother Justin pledged money into these projects to make sure they funded, as they did with most other Kickstarter decks. Anyways, the fact of the matter is, they're selling these Alice in Wonderland cards, as is Art of Play, and backers are still waiting for their decks, myself included. However, Justin has told me that they did ship out the backers everything by Thursday, so I should get them in a couple of weeks. There is a Player's Edition, which is gold, Cardistry Edition, which is black. As you can see, the back design is okay. It's a little bit fancy. I mean, the faces are okay as well. However, calling these an Alice in Wonderland deck is a bit of a stretch because there's nothing on the court cards, there's nothing on the Jokers, there's nothing related to Alice in Wonderland. They just have the name. Although apparently they have a reveal for Queen of Hearts on the side of the tuck case, which is cool. It says the most dangerous card in this deck is the Queen of Hearts. That's kind of cool. But that's about it. Yeah, so disappointed that backers are still waiting, but the selling is already. Then there's this, plywood playing cards, Lincoln playing cards, $35.95 each. Apparently they are actually wood playing cards. They all have slots on them, as you can see, in the corners and on each side. They kind of cool, a little bit pricey, but this is what they're kind of cool for. This is what the slots are for. It's so that you can put them together and actually make a house of playing cards. So that's kind of interesting. They're a little bit pricey. I don't know if they actually shuffle or what. I doubt it, but who knows. I have seen another wood deck of cards that was on Kickstarter before. It's a bit pricey, but it actually was very thin wood and flexible, and it handled somewhat. It shuffled at the very least. So who knows? It's possible. And then there's this new variety box. Spring edition, despite the fact that they're still trying to sell the winter edition. And it includes several decks. Right here you can see them. Smoke and Mirrors V6. I believe that's the original one. Could be wrong. Could be the reprint. Blue Fontaine. The Guy Hollingworth deck. Verts V3. The Ultimate. The Deck Starter deck. Because nobody wants to buy them anyways. Borderline, which is from Kickstarter. One of the Antler decks. The Prime deck from Art of Play, because nobody's buying them obviously. The Blue Aristocrat deck that they're selling on their website. One of the Alice in Wonderland decks. One of the vintage decks. And that is that. And only $125. Usually they sell for like $150, so it's not too bad. So you get Borderline, Guy Hollingworth, Aristocrat Classic Edition in blue. I don't know why it's only blue. Why not blue or red? Smoke and Mirrors V6. Apparently the first edition. I didn't know they still had them. Antler Limited Edition. Probably either color. Alice in Wonderland. Probably either color. Doesn't specify. Deck Starter. Prime. Ultimate Deck. Vintage Plaid. California Blue. Not sure why it's not one or the other. Blue Fontaines and the Virtuoso 2015. So, I mean, if you don't have some of these decks, it's a good deal. But I have all of these decks except for the Aristocrats, so it's not a good deal for me. Look at all these fanboys. 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5. Really? They're all 5 out of 5s for the reviews? Give me a break. That is ridiculous. Anyways, that is what I've got. There is a new deck coming to Fear 11 soon, the Nomad, which I think I've mentioned before. And also coming soon, I believe, within the next week and a half, is this, Hell's Gate from Tissue Playing Cards. Looks pretty awesome. I think it's coming on the 15th. This is the original deck, the 4 Beasts. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. Hell's Gate. And look for that coming to Kickstarter soon. Anyways, that's what I got. See you next time. And by the way, check out that video that I posted about that scam project, the Alchemy deck, and report it to Kickstarter. Let's all do our part and make sure this guy doesn't get away with this. It's BS. See ya.